This movement, whatever the movement is always bigger than you. It's a community effort to help somebody else.
I was actually a student at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. I was there for 1 year, freshman year. It affected me so deeply. I couldn't work. I couldn't stop crying. I was just not a human being for a week. That tragedy catapulted me into becoming an activist.
Growing up, I remember speaking Spanish once in school, and I had a teacher spit at me in my face, and she said, "Go back, you wetback, go home." I sincerely thought that we were past this stuff, but in this administration, there's no difference between what is being said here today with what was said when I was a child.
When I was in my 40s, I was a single mom raising a young teenage daughter. I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis and became disabled, and consequently lost my business and my health insurance. When the ACA was signed into law, I was able to get the care that I so desperately needed, and my daughter got her mom back. I train MoveOn members to make phone calls and speak to neighbors. Anybody can learn how to do this. I went from being immobilized to being a thriving organizer and mobilizer with MoveOn's help.
I first began organizing with MoveOn. I was actually really nervous to organize. As a typical millennial, I like to be behind my screen and do all my activism from there, but it's definitely more powerful to go speak to voters face to face.
It's human nature for us to take care of each other. And I don't want folks to be in fear like I was when I was a kid.
It's not just about where you are in life, it's about the larger view of what life should be for everybody. We should have good education systems, we should have good health care, we should have a safe environment, we should have safe streets, and trust that the police department is going to treat people fairly regardless of the color of their skin or where they live.
I think a lot of young people are disengaged from politics because we feel like our voice doesn't matter, but there are a lot of us.
We do have the power as voters, as people, to have our voices heard, to speak loudly and with power, and to go in numbers and get things done. The movement I find today with MoveOn.org is people power, is voting, is telling others, is bringing people on board, is breaking down those walls of division that we find ourselves in. And we can do that if we remain united.